Hoy toy, welcome to Transfixed. Here's my quick review on Solo, a Star Wars story. This is going to be non-spoilers at the beginning, and then I'll talk about spoiler stuff afterwards. The short version is, it actually wasn't too bad. I didn't go in there expecting much. Most of the enjoyment I've been getting out of watching Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Ethan Van Sciver's videos about Solo. If you're not watching him, you definitely should be. But, yeah, so my expectations are very low, but it was okay. They did an okay job. I still think they could have found a better actor than Alden Ehrenreich. That guy, what's his name? This guy here probably would have been a better choice, but he was okay. Lando, of course, was good. Chewbacca was good. I heard some people saying it was more like a Chewbacca film. I didn't get that impression. I did like the introduction of Chewbacca and how they met up together. It wasn't a big epic, free the slaves type of moment like it's been in other fiction, like the novels and such, but it was pretty good. I like that part. The character of qi'ra was okay. Mal was okay. What's her name? Emilia Clarke actually did okay. Usually she's not very interesting, I find, in anything except Khaleesi. Even then, a bit not that interesting, but she did okay. And the supporting cast were okay. Woody Harrelson I was worried about, because usually Woody Harrelson just plays Woody Harrelson, and I didn't know if he would fit into this fiction, but he did. I didn't think that he really took me out of the movie like I thought he was going to. His character was pretty good. It wasn't too much of a mentorship thing with Han Solo either, and I thought they were pretty restrained in a few areas where they could have gone really over the top. This story was alright. It moved along at a pretty good pace. I still have a few issues with the Falcon. I don't think it should have been... I guess it's the timeline. I mean, this is a young Han Solo, but he was young in Star Wars, A New Hope, so there's not really a lot of time that passed. They did leave enough of a gap, I think, at the end of the film before New Hope, where it was plausible for his character and other things to take place. What was I saying? Oh, the Falcon... Yeah, the Falcon was a little too brand new for my liking. I mean, what did Han and Chewie do to that ship between this movie and A New Hope? Because it was... it takes a beating in the film, but it does not... The interior is pristine, and then when you see it in A New Hope, it's totally different, and I don't know what those two did to the ship. Oh, the character of this droid that was with Lando, I did have a problem with. I thought it was just weird. The things that people were complaining about were valid. The relationship was a little too friendly with him and Lando, or her and Lando, it and Lando, and it was okay. But they did do some respect to the franchise. They did, the things that they did in the Falcon I thought were accurate, which is great. Maybe I'll just go into spoiler territory now. There's not a lot. Oh, there was you may have heard that there's a prequel character who shows up. It's a bit out of place, but it's okay. Enfys Nest was not very interesting, I thought. The stormtroopers you see, it's cool to see regular stormtroopers, the specialized ones that they've introduced for this film. Didn't really get to do anything much. That's okay, I guess. Oh, and if you watch the Foosh, it looks like Gus got shot, so that's too bad. Poor Gus. And then, what else can I talk about without spoilers? I think that's it. So a warning now, we'll talk into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, maybe don't watch this part until after you've seen the film. So, yeah, let's talk about the prequel character. So, this is your last warning, okay? So the prequel character was Darth Maul. It is cool to see him canonized, I guess, because he has been in the Rebels. I think that sort of lends some validity to it. He's got his mechanical legs. And the amulet seems to be he's working for the part of the Crimson Dawn crime syndicate, so that works, I guess. That's fine. Kind of came out of nowhere. I do like that they used Ray Park as the actor, I believe. Actually, I couldn't tell if it was digital or not. The credits had 3 entries for Darth Maul. It was Ray Park, who of course played him in The Phantom Menace, but also had Sam Witwer, which is great because he was the voice and digital actor, I think, in Rebels, I want to say, and other things, which is good because Sam Witwer is a pretty cool guy. He also played the Vader's Secret Apprentice in the Force Unleashed games. Who, what was his name? Oh, Starkiller. So yeah, it's good that he's still getting Star Wars work, and he's always good. So I thought that was well done. I guess if you're going to use the character, they used him right. And it kind of sets things up that they could add some other fiction, maybe outside of that. Oh, a really cool thing I liked was a call out to Teras Kazi. So when qi'ra does she takes down a few people, and then she says it was Teras Kazi. That was pretty cool. Hopefully that's the right way to pronounce it, since it's now been used in a film. That was an old LucasArts. LucasArts? I think so. It was an old video game in the 90s, a 3D fighting game, like a Street Fighter type of game, when they tried to do it with Star Wars. They were doing it with everything at the time, so Star Wars got its turn, and it was called Masters of Teras Kazi. And it's kind of popped up here and there, I think in maybe the role-playing books and some other sources, but it feels legitimized, and for better or for worse. I mean, it's kind of neat that they called it out in that little way. I don't mind it being part of the fiction. Yeah, it was cool to see Han speaking in Shriwook, which is the Wookiee language. I thought that was pretty cool. Talking about the Falcon again, I liked that they put the Navicomputer in the right place. And I guess, if you cared all about that droid character, it's part of the Falcon now. So, good enough. They were respectful that way, I suppose. I was a bit uncomfortable, actually. I thought maybe people were overreacting about this thing with the droid, but it was a bit uncomfortable, the way the droid was talking with Lando. And then, I don't know what the deal was there. I don't think that they were actually... I don't think there was a real relationship there. Lando seemed to care for the droid, and that's where it stopped. But there were some other lines of dialogue in there that it was just weird. It didn't need to be there. A couple things missing. Oh, what was I gonna? Yeah, I like that they installed the hyperdrive in the right place. That was fine. Yeah, we saw the escape pod being used and getting rid of, so that was fine. That took some damage. The deflector dish got knocked off, so all those things set up that the Falcon was going to be modified into what we see it as in the original trilogy. So that's fine. What else? Let's see. Oh, a couple missed opportunities. I thought that they missed a trick with the fight towards the end. So Paul Bettany's character, what's his name? Dryden Voss. Which is kind of weird. I think it's kind of a cheesy name, because I remember when I first rolled my character or registered my character for Star Wars, was it Galaxies? I think it was back then. Maybe it was Star Wars The Old Republic. I think it was Galaxies. Yeah, I tried to name my character Durid Voss, because I thought that was a cool sounding name at the time. And then I kind of outgrew that. I thought, no, it's not. But, and since then I've met people with a real name of Voss. And I guess it sounds kind of cool, but I don't know. I guess because I kind of used it and discarded it myself, and to see it in the real movie, it seems like it was amateur. And the character was fine, I guess, but I can't stop seeing him as Vision, so that was a bit of a problem for me. Like I said, Woody Harrelson did fine. I like the Han shot first type of thing. They didn't go overboard with that. Darth Maul, I guess, was okay. I think they mentioned Aura Singh. Who was it now? Somebody took down Aura Singh, so that was a cool reference. Yeah, they mentioned Kashyyyk. I think there's a few other references I might have missed, because they named some places and stuff that were probably pulled from Star Wars fiction. So I like that whoever wrote this put a lot of fan service in there. Right, the Cloud Riders and Enfys Nest. I didn't really care for the character. I thought it worked fine, I guess. There was a lot of exposition dumped on us at the twist, though, when they got to the refinery planet. I guess that place didn't seem like it should have been the refinery. I was expecting a bit more. And just, that desert planet that we saw in the trailers. They just happened to have a refinery there. I wanted to just put that closer to Kessel or on Kessel. Didn't really make a lot of sense. But, yeah, the character of Enfys Nest being a young girl, it didn't work for me. It was a bit too much. Film is taking a lot of flack for being kind of having a social justice agenda. I didn't really feel that a lot, but I thought this is where it would be pretty close to doing that. So yeah, it didn't really work out. I didn't really buy it. But it was fine, I guess. I'm glad they didn't go overboard with the setups. Like Chewbacca got his bandolier, but it was different. He didn't get his bowcaster, thankfully. Han Solo got his weapon. This is in the trailer, but Beckett, Woody Harrelson's character, does give Han his DL-44 heavy blaster, which seemed to be a broken down version of a rifle. I was okay with that. It wasn't like a big moment or anything. It was just, here's a weapon. Okay, great. And I guess he keeps that for the rest of his life. Somebody online I saw was asking, oh, maybe we'll find out what that thing on the side is. Well, it's just a scope. It's a sight. I don't know what there's no mystery there. So that was fine. Oh, the Kessel Run. I kind of like how they did the 12 parsecs thing. They didn't talk about it a lot, but they just said, he just made one comment about rounding down. So, that kind of goes with Han's boastfulness. Being a bit of a braggadocio. That was hard to say. So yeah, I'd actually recommend seeing it. The theater I went to was pretty empty. I went to pre-book tickets, and there's only 2 seats that were pre-booked the day before. So, and then when I got there was about 2 rows of people in the audience, and they were not full rows. And this is on the 26th, I think, 27th, the 27th of May. So it's been out for a few days. I just read that it was the lowest opening Star Wars film globally since 2000, and only took in half of what Deadpool did opening weekend. So I still do agree they need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, and I think Disney is not handling the trilogy well, but I think the spin-off films are doing better than the main trilogy films. So and they did put just the right amount of fan service in this one. So overall, it was okay. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. They did an okay job, especially considering all the stuff that went on during the production. Like, I was impressed that between Lord and Miller and Ron Howard handover, that it came out as good as it did. So it could have been a lot worse. Oh, sorry, missed opportunities also. During that fight, I was going to say, Harrison Ford has a little scar on his chin, and they kind of, in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, they showed him as a young Indiana Jones and how he got his scar. I think that was played by Christian Slater. I thought they were going to do something like that in the Han Solo film. And they had a perfect opportunity, because there was a fight at the end where qi'ra had a sword, and what's his name? Dryden Voss had those vibro blades, looked like brass knuckles with vibro blades on them. So either of them could have nicked him on the chin, and that would have been the origin of his scar, just in case anyone wondered. I mean, it was happening anyway. You might as well have put that in there, but they didn't, so whatever. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm sure everybody else under the sun has reviewed this film already, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It was actually okay. So Solo is alright. So I don't think it would support a trilogy or a Lando film, and I don't think those things are happening. I still don't think there should be a Boba Fett film, because his whole appeal is his mystique, and we don't want to see too much. We already have, thanks to the prequels. So I hope they don't make that, but if they do, at least they have some good people behind it with, what's his name from Logan, so we'll see what they do. I think Disney needs to slow it down a little bit, though, and just make sure they spend the time to give us some quality films if they're going to keep doing Star Wars films. It's good that we're getting more, but quality over quantity for sure. So that's all I have to say about Solo. Thanks for watching, and thanks for watching.